Hello, and thank you for joining us as we discuss simplifying the final expense sales process. My name is Matt Alina, and I'm one of the marketers here at URL Insurance Group. Either you're in the final expense marketplace or you're considering getting into the final expense marketplace. It is a great place to be. There's a lot of opportunity, and we're going to discuss how to simplify the final expense sales process. A lot of people will typically make it harder than it really is. So we're going to give you some shortcuts in ways to get quotes and simplify the sales process from beginning to end. So during the next few minutes, we're going to discuss how to approach the sale once you have the appointment. We're also going to show you where you can go and get quotes for your clients. Once you have quotes, you're going to then be completing an application. So we're going to discuss the application process and the application submission. And then last, but certainly not least, we're going to give you some random tips that we get from other agents in the field already successful in the final expense marketplace. Forget all of the things that you've learned for traditional life insurance. With the sales approach for final expense, pre-existing medical conditions can be insurable. Remember, with traditional life insurance, people that have had heart attacks, strokes, cancers, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, those are all issues for traditionally medically underwritten life insurance. With final expense, heart attacks, strokes, cancers, diabetes, sleep apnea, high cholesterol, we can even add depression, anxiety, those are all insurable with final expense companies. The applications are written in such a way that all you do is answer the questions yes or no. If they answer yes to a certain question, then they may not be able to qualify for that particular plan. But people that have had heart attack or strokes, they are okay to get coverage, level death benefit coverage after 2 years, as long as there's been no other heart attacks or strokes. Cancers are okay to insure as well after 3 years of no recurrences with some companies. Diabetes, most insurance companies are fine with diabetes as long as the client isn't losing any limbs or they have any vision problems or kidney problems. Hypertension, cholesterol, sleep apnea, those are okay. That's not going to be an issue. But where you'll need to look at a guarantee issue is if a client is on oxygen. Don't confuse that with a CPAP for sleep apnea. Oxygen is for emphysema or COPD. Guarantee issues also needed for clients that have dementia, Alzheimer's, maybe they're on kidney dialysis, HIV or AIDS, or maybe they need skilled care. That's when guaranteed issue plans are needed. Once you've determined the client's ability to qualify medically for the particular companies that you're looking to represent, it's now time to give them quotes. This is where you're not going to give them the quotes based on a death benefit amount. You can certainly do that. You can give them a starting point and say an average funeral costs range between $10,000 or $15,000. This is what the rate is going to be. Sometimes you have to work at it backwards and say, how much can you comfortably afford each month? And we can then get you the highest death benefit amount based on the monthly budget. So you can get quotes through the company-issued rate books that you get with the companies that you're contracted with. Those quotes, those rate books go with you on every appointment, and they're available at your fingertips. They're instantly available, and you're only quoting the companies that you're contracted with. You also have access to our final expense quote engine on our website at urlinsgroup.com. Again, you'll have quotes at your fingertips. It does compare rates with other companies, but sometimes that gets things a little convoluted and muddies the water because it may not be a company you're appointed with. So it would be one of those situations where you probably want to keep the quote engine to yourself. Most clients are not able to go online and get final expense quotes anyway. This also allows you to compare rates, like I said, and you do have to have access to the internet. Either the client has to have Wi-Fi or you have to be in a public area that'll have access to the internet in some form or fashion. If you don't have access to the internet, you won't have access to the final expense quote engine. This is an example of a monthly rate sheet. This is if a client says to you, I have $100 that I can spend each month. And let's say you're dealing with a 65-year-old female, non-smoker. This is just a Forrester's monthly quick quote. So you could look at the rate here and see that a client is 65 years old, female, non-smoker. If she can qualify, you've already gone through the medical questions, paying $100 a month will get her a level death benefit day one for $24,991. That will be guaranteed for the rest of her life. Most companies have rate books that are very similar to the one that you see on the screen right now. Our online quoting tools. You can go to our website at URL insgroup.com, click on Departments, Life Markets, and then Quoting Tools, and it'll take you to the next page, and you'll see on the top section in the middle here, it'll say Quote Final Expense. Click on that. That'll take you to the Final Expense quote engine, and you can run as many quotes as you want. Once you have a commitment of a premium from your client, or the client is willing to proceed with the company that you're suggesting, it's now time to fill out the application. You've already done some pre-qualifications. You've already determined that they can qualify for the company that you're quoting. So now it's time to fill out the entire application, answering all the medical questions. And remember, when you're answering the medical questions, it's either yes or no. Do not elaborate on the answers. So answer all the medical questions, sign all the required disclosure forms, and then on every application, it'll tell you if a mandatory phone interview is required. If it is required, call the toll-free number, tell them who you are, hand the phone over to the client to answer the questions from the operator on the other end, and then they'll hand the phone back to you, and the operator will tell you that they are tentatively accepted or they're tentatively declined. If there is no phone interview, then you will just go and skip that section and go right into application submission. You have two options with the application submission. You can submit the application directly to the carrier, or you can submit the application directly to URL. If you submit the application directly to URL, we will scrub the applications and we will follow it from beginning to end. Underwriting for final expense does not take very long. If it is your first application or your first couple of applications for final expense, we suggest that you submit it directly to URL. That way we can kind of hold it through or get it through the underwriting process, and it kind of holds your hand a little bit. Once you're comfortable with the process, submitting the application directly to the carrier eliminates a step and goes right to the company, and then the company will then get those policies issued even quicker. Now, some random tips. Final expense life is a budget-driven sale, like we mentioned earlier. You are selling a plan that fits the client's budget. You can tell the client, I have plans that start around 25, 30, whatever amount of money that you want to start. So most agents will say, I have plans that start at $25 per month. Please give me a monthly amount that you can comfortably afford, and I will find you the most benefit for your monthly budget. Remember, do not complete the entire long final expense application until you've pre-qualified your client. It doesn't make sense to go through all that paperwork for the client to then be rejected. That same goes for the phone interviews. Do not make the client go through a phone interview if you've already gone through the medical questions and they've already said yes to some of those questions. We have several final expense companies, several options available, and we're here to help you present more options to your client if needed. Most of these policies, final expense policies, are typically issued in less than 1 week. You'll have an underwriting decision. That's one of the attractive things or attractive features about final expense, is that there are no medical exams. There are no medical records that need to be obtained. It's either they are accepted or they're rejected. Most companies pay you quickly as well. Once the policy is in force, usually within 24 to 48 hours, you're going to have your commission in your bank account. And last but not least, and I cannot emphasize this anymore, you've spent money on leads, you've gotten in front of people to present this product, get referrals. If the client is purchasing a policy from you, they have other friends, they have other family that could benefit from the same services that you are providing. Get referrals. They're free, and it gets you in front of more people. You're getting a bigger bang out of your lead costs by getting referrals. Thank you for taking time to join us as we discuss simplifying the final expense sales process. If you have any questions, we are certainly here to help you. You can contact us here directly at 800-926-8875. My name is Matt Alina. I'm at extension 141. You can also contact Joey Fry or Steve Clemens. We're here to help you. You can also visit our website for greater detail at URL insgroup.com. Happy selling and good luck.